Hello and welcome. I'm Belinda Kimami. Tonight, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo reiterates federal government's commitment towards adequate electricity supply to Nigerians, says federal government to appoint metering agents. Victims of flood disaster in Nasarawa State count losses as officials begin integrity tests on buildings affected by flood in Benue State. 2 security personnel and a civilian killed by gunmen suspected to be pirates in Bayelsa State. And U.S. bombers fly close to North Korea's east coast in a show of force as Pentagon vows military options to defeat any threat.
On business news tonight, financial analysts expect Nigeria's Central Bank Monetary Policy Committee to leave key rate parameters unchanged as two-day meeting begins on Monday.
And on sports news tonight, Confederation of African Football CAF strips Kenya of hosting rights for the 2018 African Nations Championships.
We begin tonight with the assurance from the Vice President that all that needs to be done to end the challenges affecting regular supply of electricity to Nigerians will be addressed by the federal government. As part of efforts towards tackling these challenges, Professor Yemi Osinbajo says the federal government is appointing special agents to handle metering for power consumers in the country. He announced this during the inauguration of a metering company in Akwa Ibom as part of the state's 30th anniversary.
The Vice President arriving at Kano EBM International Airport, Uyo, in Akwa Ibom State. He is received by the Governor, Udom Emmanuel, and other dignitaries. And then it is time to inspect the Guard of Honor, welcoming him to Nigeria's land of promise. The Vice President is in Uyo to participate in activities marking the 30th anniversary of the state. Professor Osinbajo is also accompanied by some state governors. The first task he performs is the inauguration of an electricity metering factory in Ona.
The federal government has developed a policy around metering. In the first place, we're going to have independent metering companies and agents. So a distributor or a distribution company, DISCO, does not necessarily have also to be a distributor of meters. So it's now opened up. Anybody can take the batch of consumers and meter.
The host governor, Udom Emmanuel, explains that the 2.7 million units of meters per annum facility is expected to provide power and also encourage entrepreneurship.
If you want a company to move to Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, they will move tomorrow morning. And in that case, the capacity can be doubled from 2.7 to 5.4. And that will actually also enable us to pay for the power that we generate. Because once the consumers pay for the consumption, there will be money to pay for the gas and then for the generation.
Next is the inauguration and inspection of a syringe manufacturing factory at Ona. The Vice President also inspected the newly reconstructed General Hospital in Etinan. These projects, according to the governor, will improve the economy of the state and the well-being of the people as the state celebrates 30 years of its creation.
Together with Her Excellency the wife of the governor of Akwa Ibom State.
From Akwa Ibom, let's move to Benue State, where the government has begun conducting tests on most of the buildings affected by the recent floods in Makurdi, the state capital. This, according to the Deputy Governor, Benson Abunu, is part of measures to reduce the devastating effect of flood on the victims and the environment. Other agencies accompanied the Deputy Governor to distribute relief materials to the victims.
Flood victims seeking temporary shelter at an internally displaced persons camp watch as teams of visitors arrive, bearing gifts. They're mostly officials of the United Nations High Commission for Refugees and the National Civil Defense Corps.
We brought food items and sanitary materials to make sure that they are not starved, and to make sure that while they leave, they make sure they maintain a level of hygiene so as to prevent epidemics.
We are willing to help the state government empower or enrich its decamping strategy. We will come in, we will offer our advice and see how best this situation is even looked at, even if it means trying to come out with, assist you with some policy directions.
The majorities of IDPs here have suffered one form of loss or the other, especially their homes.
The flood has actually caused a lot of setback for me because my property got damaged, my house got damaged completely. The condition of stay here is not so good, and I was careful because oftentimes when a lot of people crowded in the environment, epidemics could break out, and as a result of that, I decided that my wife and children should move to Boko.
Integrity tests are being conducted on the houses affected by the floods. However, the state government also has some encouraging, cheering news.
The houses that were completely broken down, those that collapsed, clearly there has to be government intervention, at least by way of helping those individuals to rebuild. The houses that were only taken over by flood, that there was flooding and water raised up to window level. But now that water has receded, we have taken structural engineers to look at them, and those that have been considered fit for human habitation, we have decided that those people, we will take record of them, we will counsel them, and we will even intervene by way of providing some items, that they lost.
Although water levels have receded, the state of the affected houses may constitute another hazard for the displaced occupants seeking to return to their homes. Therefore, the relief materials may be in order, but the integrity test is a very critical stage in time.
Meanwhile, in neighboring Nasarawa State, residents in Lafia are still counting their losses after a downpour left them homeless. They are asking the state government to construct water channels to control the effect of flooding to avert more loss of lives and property.
Nasarawa State is not new to ecological challenges, and sometimes when it rains lasting for hours, danger may well be lurking in the corner. This is Angwan Nungu, a new layout on the outskirts of the state capital. Here, residents are counting their losses after a downpour that destroyed all their belongings. A particular household was overrun by the floodwaters from the rain, resulting in the loss of a 6-year-old boy. His mother cannot hold back her tears as she gives account of the incident.
As we ran out, we didn't realize there was a hole. We fell and the water drew us into the ditch. At a point, I didn't see him again. Later on, I sighted a tree, which I held until I was saved by a neighbor.
As these people pick up pieces of their belongings left, they appeal to the government to address their plight once and for all.
We appeal to government to look into these issues that are recurring, not just beginning from my son, as it is not the first. It has been happening and the government is aware.
For another resident of the area, an evacuation of inhabitants may be necessary to avert a recurrence.
Solution to this place is either government evacuate them by providing a land for them and help them materially and both financially so that they can build up a new place. That is the solution. Government should either have a way of channeling water so that they can be able to prevent the damage of people's property and houses.
As always, the government is putting together plans to stem the spate of erosion and flooding.
It is a new layout. Government is intervening in the area of erosion and flood immensely within Lafia and across the whole 13 local governments of the state, because the entire town naturally is within the subhumid region and rainfall are concentrated within few months. So incidence of flood and erosion is very enormous.
Owing to the incessant flooding in some areas, the Nasarawa state government may have to set up the construction of infrastructure that will not only protect the environment but reduce the impact of natural disasters on the people.
A policeman, an official of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, as well as a civilian, have been confirmed dead in Bayelsa State. The assailants, suspected to be sea pirates, were said to have attacked a team of security operatives yesterday in southern Ijaw local government area. The State Police Command explained that another team arrived at the scene shortly after the incident and rescued a policeman and 7 other people, while another policeman from the command is said to be missing. All security operatives have been put on high alert and efforts are ongoing to arrest the culprits. Many Nigerians can attest to the fact that getting an international passport is not a walk in the park. They are asking the Nigerian Immigration Service to speed up the process, as most of them have to wait for hours at various collection centers. Our correspondent, Bukola Jo Ketumbi, reports that the Nigerian Immigration Service is insisting that those who need passports must fill their applications online.
Quite a number of people waiting under the tents at the Alausa passport office in Lagos. At this time of the day, the crowd is thinned, but statistics according to this Immigration Service Command say about 6,000 passports are issued per month. This is what one of the collection waiting areas at the Ikoyi passport office in Lagos looks like late in the day. Many of those here say they arrived on the official collection time, which is about 10 a.m. Just a distance away, an officer is busy calling names from a stack of passports in his hand. And some of those here complain of the long wait, and a young child thinks the process should be more organized.
This place should be organized. There will be collection room for children, adults, and old people.
I have already gone through the process of filling the forms, capturing and all of that. And today I'm supposed to collect it, and I've been here since 9:30 a.m. and no show. They haven't called my name, and I'm still waiting.
For the Nigerian Immigration Service, it's not just getting its acts together. The Ikoyi office, which sees the largest traffic in Lagos, is re-strategizing.
From next week, I'll be doing 24 hours production. You acquire today, take me on this. You acquire today, from next week, you get it the next day. Because we have the booklet, we have the passport supply, we have the laminate, we have the equipment to work with, so why should I keep it in my office?
One other issue is the need to eliminate middlemen in the process. So get online is what the service is insisting on.
Traffic. The applicant's place his own part by doing the documentation from the comfort of his office or room. By the time that is concluded, then we now take over. And when we take over, it is expected to deliver within 48 hours or maximum 72 hours, depending on the type of application.
The electronic passport is the standard travel document if anyone must cross the border to another country. And many do hope that the Nigerian Immigration Service will keep simplifying the process so that it does not take an arm and a leg to process these documents. Bukola Jo Ketumbi, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, wife of the President, Aisha Buhari, and other First Ladies of the Chad Basin countries rally support for refugees in the region at the United Nations. That's in a moment.